Hi, welcome to Hospitality Live with Rupesh. Each week, we feature an industry leader that will share the latest trends and the best strategies to help you grow. Now, welcome your host, Rupesh Patel.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Are we live? Is this live? Somebody comment, let me know if this is live. It's been a year and it's been a crazy year. And I say this every start of the show, I'm like, are we live? So somebody comment, let us know where you're watching from, and let me know if this is actually going live on the internets, because my kids make fun of me because I say that. Guys, welcome to the show. This is episode number 69. Just a few days away from the holidays, the big holiday. Christmas is here. I can't believe it. The end of the year is here, and I can't believe it. Guys, comment and let us know where you're watching from. This is episode number 69, 10 lessons that I've learned in 2020 from interviewing amazing leaders. And I've been so lucky and fortunate to interview these guys and gals, and I'm super excited to share what I've learned this year. And guys, comment and let us know, because I am actually giving away a much, much bigger prize. And here's a hint. Did you see it? Here's a hint of actually what I'm going to be giving away. So guys, comment, let me know. And this is a little different show. It's a solo show. Of course, I'm going to have Sarah Dandashy on with the Hospitality Minute, but this is a different show where I'm going to be sharing some insights that I actually learned, that I took in, and that I have improved my career, helped me improve my mindset, and just helped me keep going as we have struggled these past almost a year now, right? It's coming up. And guys, welcome to the show. Like I said, the most engaging person on this episode is going to win my big holiday prize pack, and is definitely filled with that and some money, which, hey, money's always good. So guys, comment and let us know where you're watching from. Good morning to everybody. We have Florida in the house. Good morning, Nashville, Pennsylvania. Good morning to Richmond, Kentucky, Daytona, Jersey, Fort Lauderdale, St. Louis, Charlotte, Kentucky again, Jacksonville, good morning, Maryland in the house, El Paso, Texas in the house, Arizona, Nepal, I love this, Dearborn, Michigan, Chicago, guys, comment and let us know. Orlando, hey, Orlando in the house. Happy holidays to everybody, guys. I'm so excited about this episode because it's helped me continue going as I have struggled, and you know my story of what happened to my family and how I've kept going, and this is what the show is about. And so this episode is sponsored. Guess what? New sponsor. This week is actually sponsored by my platform, which is my website. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It is, and somebody put this in the comments because I don't have time to put it in the comments. It is rupesh.co. This is my leadership platform that I'm going to be adding to in the next year or so, or actually in the next few months. And I want you to join and enter your email in the at the website, and you'll get notified when we go live on certain different parts of the website. And you can definitely go back and check out all the past episodes, all past, I would say 69 episodes now after the show. So somebody put in the comments, rupesh.co is the website. Thank you so much. Thanks to myself. I don't know. This week, this mindset this week is something that I've been thinking about for quite some time, and I've had to change and focus a little bit when we're talking about keeping it going. And this week is I surround myself with a positive vibe only because I don't want all that negative stuff in my life. And I don't want negativity. I don't want any complaining. I don't want to hear about myself judging somebody or somebody judging me, jealousy, and just comparing our lives. And I think that's important when we're talking about growing ourselves. And guys, comment and let us know if you're in that mindset too, where, you know what, I just want positive vibes in my life. And that's what I'm here to do and kind of keep going. And I think that's a mindset that I've had to learn. And, and no matter what age you are, you have to learn it sometime in your life where, you know what, I'm done with all this negative stuff. I'm done with all the drama in my life. I just want to have a good life and I want to be happy, right? And Lonnie says serve, or actually he says serve no purpose, but to serve a purpose in your passion, and that's what you want, and that's when you're really find clarity in your life. And that's my mindset this week. Anybody agree, or anybody have that mind shift change when you're like, you know what, I'm done with all of this. That doesn't really matter anymore. And we've all had to slow down, and that's something I'm going to talk about simplifying our lives. And there hasn't been a lot of work for me, so I've been home a lot, and I've been doing these other things that I've been keeping myself going. And I always start off my day with positive vibes. So like going to the gym. Yes, I did go to the gym this morning. It was safe. I've been going to the gym for quite some time now, and it's been safe for me, and I haven't gotten sick, thankfully, and everybody around me hasn't gotten sick. So thankful for that. But that's one thing that keeps me going and keeps me positive, and that's the vibe I want every single day. So I see it in the comments, always positive. Guys, that's my mindset this week. All right, so next is the Hospitality Minute with Sarah Dandashy.
Woo-hoo! Good morning.
Sarah, it's the end of the year. I finally got your name right. I finally got it correct.
I was actually going to say that to you. I was like, dude, you just let that roll out. You were just, we know the name. We're good.
Yeah. What's going on in Cali? Because I know everything's shut down, and we're like the opposite. Everything is open in Florida, which is kind of crazy, where you have one side of the United States open and everything else is shut down. What's going on in California?
It's kind of nuts. It's interesting because it's like I feel like I'm living a little bit vicariously through you, that I'm like, how is he able to do all these things? But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's shut down. So it's like, our gyms are closed, no like hair salons, barbers, none of that. Stores are like 20% occupancy. They're requesting that it is stay-at-home orders, but honestly, there's been so much traffic, it's kind of crazy. And then the biggest point of contention here has been restaurants. They basically closed down all dining at a restaurant. So no outdoor, no indoor, only takeout. So that's been a huge thing that, as far as everything goes. But otherwise, I mean, people are kind of out. So it's an interesting time that you would think it would be far more locked down, but there we are.
Well, are you ready for the Hospitality Minute?
I am. Are you?
I'm always ready. We're always ready for the good news in hospitality, or the crazy news that you sometimes share. Let's do this, Sarah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sarah Dandashy from Ask a Concierge. Every week, I'll be sharing the latest hospitality and travel news and updates in a segment we like to call Hospitality Minutes.
All right, let's go ahead and dive into the Hospitality Minute. So I know a lot of times I've been sharing a lot of information about the U.S., but I wanted to start things off a little bit differently and actually look at numbers in the UAE. Again, it's, I've always had this mindset that you want to kind of look at things on a global perspective and a global scale so that you can have this better idea as far as maybe how recovery can look like. Obviously, every market is different, but it's always interesting to see what's happening in other parts of the world. So our first topic to kind of talk about today is the UAE. Their hotels have been returning to pre-pandemic occupancy rates. Now, this was kind of the time sort of between November 30th and December 6th. So that little time period, but it's really kind of showing that they have had a lot of success with their domestic and international campaigns. And even that, looking at like a couple of different things that they've got, like their ADR, for example, is really only about like 31% down compared to this same point last year. Now, in general, the Middle East has done a little bit, or the UAE has done a little bit better than the entire Middle East, but they are still showing signs of, they had been certainly like in October, November, showing signs of a little bit of a bounce back in that time. So again, really interesting. And I think it's just so important for us to see what's happening in different parts of the world, what strategies they're using and what seems to be working. So moving on, Marriott International, our dear friends over there, they have been expanding their Connect with Confidence initiative. So I don't know how closely you've been following them, but in this sort of effort to get sort of the meetings and, conference space, getting people to feel far more comfortable with that. They've been exploring a lot of different options over the past couple of months. Certainly they had a whole digital leg of that, to kind of help sort of like best practices to keep these meetings going. But then they also debuted, or they tried out their own hybrid virtual and in-person event. And I believe that was back in November as well. Now, more recently, they've expanded on this and they've come together with a bunch of basically offerings like health protocol options. So if somebody is going to be hosting a meeting at one of their properties, and by the way, this will be starting in January in different markets, that if you're hosting a meeting in one of their properties, that you will have different options to provide your attendees everything from self-administered COVID-19 tests to third-party testing. Then there's also like daily or pre-arrival health screenings, daily temperature checks, all of that. So they're adding this as just kind of an extra option. Again, all depending on whether it makes sense for your meeting and also, again, your market. So really interesting to see that they're going this way. And again, as always, who will follow suit? So moving on, our next one, I found this actually really interesting. So this new study found that nearly half of Americans are planning to travel during the winter holiday period. So this December, and this research was done by cars.com, but they found that 46% of respondents said that they're going to travel for the December holidays. 66% said they would be driving. And then about 30% will be flying. 11% taking the train, which is also interesting. But now, normally when it comes to, making the option to drive, normally the factors that go into that are kind of costs and cost and convenience is normally what the driving factors are. But this year it's more for safety and security. Again, interesting to see how that mindset shift is happening just for consumers in general. Now, surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, the New Year's holiday, those numbers are actually going down. So it seems that more people are trying to, if they're going to travel, they're going to travel over the Christmas holiday this coming week, and they're less as interested in traveling over New Year's, which kind of makes sense. But the busiest time for travel days per cars.com was December 23rd from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and December 24th from 9 a.m. to noon. That will be the most congested on the roads. And the top 3 cities for travelers are New York, Los Angeles, and Atlanta. So would love to hear in the comments if you think that sounds interesting or accurate, and if you're going to be traveling too. And then the final thing, kind of wrapping this up, I touched on this a little bit briefly yesterday in my videos, but there have been some big changes in travel this year, and it's definitely not just one. I mean, certainly we all know about cleaning standards. We all know about social distancing. Domestic travel as well has been key. I mean, honestly, and that's been across the world, is that domestic travel has been the linchpin. That's been what's kind of like keeping the industry together. Outdoor destinations, people traveling with groups, these travel pods. Private has also been always an essential part of the luxury travel experience, but this year they really doubled down on that. But I think, and I actually would love to hear from you guys, what do you think the biggest change was this year? I think it was the elimination of change fees and flexible cancellation policies. That's been huge. And we've seen that across the board, from airlines to hotels. And I think that that's going to be really interesting moving forward. But I think that was probably the most underrated, biggest change of the year. So that is it for today's Hospitality Minute. I hope you guys learned something new.
I did. Hey, Sarah, are you going anywhere this next couple of weeks?
No, I am doing a staycation actually later today in LA. So I'm actually going to be staying at my old hotel. So if you guys happen to be following me along on Instagram, definitely watch. I'll be sharing some stuff. But other than that, I won't be. I might do a little day trip to Joshua Tree, because I do like to go out to the desert right around New Year's to just kind of like breathe a different air, if that sounds right.
Well, Sarah, I wanted to publicly thank you. A few months ago, I said, Sarah, I think you do a great job. And by the way, guys, Sarah is all over the place. She has an account, I think, on every single platform, and she does an amazing job on these platforms. So it's not like I just have an account and then I just repost some other stuff. She actually focuses on different accounts, which is like social media, like 101, that she just knows what the heck she's doing. So if you guys need help with your own social media, definitely reach out to Sarah. And Sarah, where can people find you? And let's talk about your book too. Let's hit
you were just like peppering that in there. So yeah, again, you guys can find me everywhere on social media. On my handle on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is Ask a Concierge. I also put my videos out on YouTube as well. And then certainly here, please connect, follow, all that good stuff. I definitely plan to be sharing far more new stuff in the new year. And then my book, I do have a book that will be coming out within the next month to 2 months. It'll be Hospitality from Within. And I have been so excited because the journey of putting together a book, by the way, is you learn so much about yourself. So it's been a great experience so far, and I'm excited to share it when it's ready.
I'm excited because you know what, Sarah, we're giving away a pre-sale copy of your book today to the winner of whoever is the most engaging on this episode is going to win a copy of your book along with all these wonderful people that have been on the show this last year. And I'm going to be talking about some of these insights from these books. So please stay tuned. Sarah, thank you. It's been a pleasure having you on the show every single week, teaching me something about what's going on, because half the stuff I'm like, I didn't know that, but I've learned so much. And guys, if you've enjoyed Sarah, you want her to continue having this segment on the show, please comment. And Sarah, if they say no, then I'm going to have to kick you out. Is that okay?
Oh, okay. That's totally fair. But I do have to say, by the way, thank you so much for thinking about me and inviting me on. I'll never forget that you're like, hey, do you want to come on my show? But here's the thing, because I'm obviously on the West Coast, you're like, you're going to have to be ready by 6:15 a.m. And I'm like, what else am I going to do? For sure. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. And here's a fun fact that Sarah and I both went to the same gym, and I didn't know that until just recently. We both go to Orange Theory, and I mean, Orange Theory is closed in California, but I like to wake up at 4:30 every morning. And Sarah's like, and when I get up at 4:30, Sarah's still up because it's like 12 or it's like 11:30.
Sometimes.
And I see her on LinkedIn, it's like active. I'm like, what are you doing up at 1 o'clock in the morning? But she doesn't sleep like I do. And, we're excited and we're passionate about what we do. And so that's the fun part about life. When you're really excited about something, or you have this goal that you want to reach, it's fun that you will do whatever it takes. And I appreciate you just being on the show and sharing your insights. And it's just fun to connect with you. And every week I love hearing what you have to say. So guys, hit the like button right now if you've enjoyed what Sarah's been sharing these last, how long has it been? I feel like it's been like at least a few months, 4 months.
Yeah, I think we kind of started in the beginning of September.
Absolutely. Well,
wow. Amazing.
Please connect with her. She has a huge following on Instagram, huge following on YouTube, and please connect with her. Sarah's awesome.
Oh,
Sarah, happy holidays. Talk to you next week.
Definitely. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Sarah's awesome, guys. You have to connect with her. All right. So I am now going to get into the 10 lessons that I've learned in 2020 from talking to lots and lots of leaders, amazing leaders. I mean, there's been so many amazing leaders, and I don't want to pick one or the other because they've all had their insights shared on the show. So if you want to go back to past episodes, you can go to rupesh.co/show and pull up all the past episodes. It's been amazing to connect with all these CEOs, these leaders, these people that have done amazing work within hospitality and in business. And I just love sharing these. So I'm going to be pulling some of these mindsets from the episodes that I've learned, and I'm going to share the 10 things that I've actually learned. And guys, before the end of the show, I am giving away my big holiday prize pack. And let me just tell you what's in the prize pack. It's a $50 Amazon gift card. It's a $100 credit to smartguests.com. It's 60 minutes of leadership coaching with me. It's books from Christine Trippi, Yes is the Answer, Future Hospitality, Jeremy Wells, Shep Hyken's book, Micah Solomon, Dan Cockrell, and I'm going to give a shout out to Mark Metry. If you don't know his podcast, he has an amazing podcast, and you have to definitely connect with Mark Metry. And a few more. I'm also giving away Charles Minton's Thanks for Coming In Today. So there's a lot of great there's one person that's going to win this is going to win a lot of stuff. So I'm super excited about that. So guys, comment. I'm going to be reading the comments as I'm running the show too by myself. So please bear with me if I do take my time by reading the comments here. And guys, the person with the most engaging comment and person that's active here on this during the show is going to win. So, all right. So the number one lesson, or not the number one of the 10 lessons that I've learned from leaders as I've had the opportunity and the pleasure of speaking with him, is the power of words and how you use them. Like if you use the right words, it can change your life. It can get you a new job. It could get you new connections on here on LinkedIn or through social media. It could boost your business. What else can words do? And definitely in the hospitality space, it can connect you with guests and authentically connect you with them by making them feel special, warm, welcome, all of those things. And episode number 66 with Jones Laughlin, we talk about how to use powerful words to help grow yourself, your career, your leadership. And then also episode 42 with Christine Trippy, we also talk about words within hospitality that you can use with your team and guests. And Matthew says words are powerful. And I'm telling you, it's changed the way I write emails. Simple things as I write an email, right? Words are definitely so powerful. And I see all the comments here. I think it's an art, using the proper words, because you can really change someone's day just by using the proper words. And I highly recommend you go back to episode 66 and 42 to understand why words are so important. And I've taken that in, and so now I try to be careful when I'm crafting an email, an article, or any kind of communications, that I choose and select the right words, because I think it's super important. So that's number one. All right, number two, and this was very important to me, is taking opportunities when they show up. Now, what does that actually mean? That means if somebody offered you something, maybe it wasn't the right time for you, or maybe it was, but you just didn't understand it, right? And this is when the CEO of Virgin Hotels, Raul Leal, on episode 62 came on for an hour and talked about how he became the CEO of Virgin Hotels. And he said, when there's opportunity that comes your way, if you don't take it, somebody else is going to take it, or you're going to miss out and say, oh, you know what? I should have taken that opportunity. Has that ever happened to you where you're like, you know what? That's happened to me plenty of times in my life. And sometimes, now I'm like, you know what? There's an opportunity. I feel great about something. It feels good inside. I take it and I feel good about it. And I try not to hear from the outside world on what I should do with this opportunity, just if it feels right to me. And I think that's very important when we're talking about growing ourselves. We're talking about leadership, as far as leading ourselves first and then leading your team on. I think when you could take opportunities to make a difference in yourself, your life, your career, other people, I think it's big. And another episode, it was just last week, where I got to speak to David Kong, and he's the CEO of Best Western Hotels. And he said the same thing. He took an opportunity from one job to another, and it was less pay, but he saw it as a stepping stone to the next thing. And sometimes we look at like a job or something as, oh, I'm not making enough money, or why would I take a pay cut to do this? But guess what? It could step you into something else in the future. And I like that, when you can think beyond just this one thing that's happening, but kind of plan a path out. And I think that's important when we're talking about take opportunity. So I don't know if you've taken opportunities here in the last 6 months, and sometimes people have to push you into opportunities that they think may be perfect for you, right? So I think that's why I picked number 2, as far as take opportunities, because they don't often come your way. And when they do, take hold of them and take action and push yourself to go beyond, because I think that can help you get out of your fear factor too. Because sometimes you don't take that opportunity because you're scared, you're afraid of making big changes in your life, or taking on something brand new that you may not be successful at. And sometimes you have to do that to kind of keep it going. So I love that. All right, so number 3, and guys, if you like this so far, please hit the like button so I see that you are enjoying this, and I'm reading all the comments too. I don't know how I'm going to pick a winner for this episode, because there's so many amazing comments that are popping up. And so, all right, so let's go to number 3. And number 3 is the willingness to learn, and learn something new every single day. Are you actually? I want to hear from the comments. Do you do you learn something every single day of your life? Just one thing. And I think it's very important when you could just pick up one thing. It doesn't have to be 100 things. It doesn't have to be something like crazy. It could be a simple idea that could help change your direction or your path in your life. And I think that's very important. And I learned this from episode number 53 is how to become a great leader, a great GM with Todd Naftal. And he had some amazing things. He was an award-winning, or he was an award-winning, or he still is an award-winning hotel professional GM that he won. I think it was like 6 or 7 years in a row that he won the Manager's Award. And I think that was awesome that Jeremy did get to experience that. But how he got to that position is because he learned something every single day. And I think that's powerful when we're talking about becoming better leaders, is not just the stuff you learned in the past that you can maybe share to people in the future, but always keep learning. And let me post some of these comments that people are saying. I think, yeah, definitely Todd is definitely cool. Victor says every single day. I think it's a way to stand out from everybody else, because guess what? I almost guarantee you that your competition, someone that you're trying to get a job maybe against, or maybe you're trying to, not outdo somebody, because I don't like that word, but maybe you're trying to get to that next position or that next step in your career. And if you just had that extra thing that you knew, you would have that opportunity to come your way than the next person, right? And I love that you can keep on going with learning new things. And there's so many different ways to learn, especially in the hospitality, especially now with technology and all these free podcasts like this episode or this show. It's free. It's free for you to learn every single week from amazing people that have taken 25, 30 years out of their career to learn these different things. And you can learn this within an hour, right? Which is super important. So I do the same thing. I was talking about Mark Metry, Humans 2.0. He has a great podcast that is probably one of the top 100 podcasts in the world. Mark's a great guy. And same thing. Learn from different parts of your life. It doesn't have to be just from hospitality. It could be from other industries. It could be from another total different world of business. And I think that you can bring those ideas into this world or into this industry as far as hospitality. And I love that you continue learning and your willingness to learn every single day. And guess what? No matter what position you have, no matter how long you've been working, you don't know everything. And I don't know everything. And so that's why I love learning every single day. And yes, they're saying make learning fun. If it's not fun, it's like you being in school. I hated honestly, I hated school. I got D's and F's. And I can show you that report card. Actually, I have an article here on LinkedIn that shows my report card from second or third grade. It was like C's, D's, and F's. And that wasn't for me until I came to understand what I was passionate about. And at that time, I was not in that mindset, right? And so I think it's powerful when you can understand that here are some different things that you can learn from. And maybe somebody shares an article, or maybe somebody shares a podcast with you that changes your life. And that's happened to me in the past, where I have this set of podcasts that I listen to, and some of those have made me a lot of money, made me a better person, changed my mindset, it kept me positive while I was maybe down and out, right? And I love doing those things. And that's what we do when we're talking about learning every single day. That's number 3. All right, so number 4, and this is from David Cronin. He is the general manager at the upcoming W Hotel in Nashville. I'm just putting this out of my head. In Nashville, it's coming up. I think they're opening up in the next couple months. That was episode number 63. Definitely go back to the show on either on my website, rupesh.co/shows, or on YouTube, youtube.com/Rupesh Live, and you'll be able to pull up all the past episodes. And what he talked about was motivate yourself. And you have to motivate yourself first before you can motivate anybody else, because you can't be that person, that guy or gal that comes into work that you're not motivated, you're not excited, because guess what? Everybody else can see it, right? And I think that's very important when you have to think about how you're going to grow as a leader. It starts with you first. If you're not happy, if you're not excited, you don't have that drive, that passion, that purpose, and that's called clarity, I think. And it starts with you. And go back to episode number 63, where David shares how he became a great leader and how he became a leader at his hotel and all the different positions he picked up. And he was like, motivate yourself first, because you can't motivate others if you're down and out, right? Anybody believe that? Because I think that's super important. And thank you so much to Matthew for posting these, the notes. I love it. Yeah, Deborah says, absolutely. Jay says, it's important. Attitude is contagious. Definitely. I agree. I love that. That's one of my pet peeves. Peggy says, carry a notepad and write things down. Honestly, that I have notes everywhere. Like if you look at my desk, there's notes, there's sticky pads everywhere, because I write stuff down quickly and then I might put them into my phone, into my notes. But that is definitely a thing that I do. And listen, my pet peeve is if I have a meeting, everybody in the room better come with some kind of thing, some kind of utensil to write with, some kind of pen and pad to write with, because that's one thing that we can't remember everything, right, in life. And if we're not writing things down, we're going to forget as soon as we leave the room, because you have 100 other things as soon as you get out of your meeting. Maybe a guest complained, maybe there's a leak, maybe there's a flood in your hotel, maybe the boiler is down, maybe all these 100 things that could happen at your hotel in a day that could happen. If you don't have notes, I think it's super important. So thank you so much, Peggy, for that comment. I think it's important when you can go back to these sticky notes, go back to these notes and remember. And by the way, a tip that I use is I use my reminders app within the iPhone, and it reminds me of things I needed to do. But it's not even just like things I need to do next week, but it's maybe like back burner stuff that I put into my reminders that maybe might remind me in like 6 months. Great tip that I learned from somebody else, and it's kept me going, because I go back to those reminders, and sometimes I don't even close those reminders out. I just keep them going, because sometimes I don't finish some of these things that are in my goal, right? Great tip that I've learned and that I want to continue. All right, so the next one, actually I'm going to save this one for last, because I think it's very important that we have this mindset, that we keep going at the end. But the next one is by world famous and award-winning Hilton GM, and he's the owner or operating partner at the I can't think of, somebody tell me the hotel's name. I'm drawing a blank right now. It's Craig Poole, and it was episode number 14, where he has a helping mindset. Does anybody know what hotel he works for? Because I have it in the back of my head and I can't think of it. It might be, I can't think of it right now. But I'm sure somebody knows, and they're going to comment, and I'm going to post that comment up. It was Craig Poole that shared with me that you should have a helping mindset, help others as you continue growing yourself. It's not just helping yourself, but it's helping others. And I think that's very important when we're talking about keeping it going, becoming a better leader, becoming a better person. And I love that. Anybody in the comments? No. Yep, there it is. Peggy says DoubleTree in Reading, Pennsylvania. That is so true. Somebody go and connect with Mr. Poole, because he has an amazing story. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him personally, but I did see him at the Hilton Owners Conference last September, and it was awesome to see him being an award winner and getting presented with an award at the conference. And I love that, and I can't wait till next year that we can attend some conferences in person, and I hope that happens, because that's important for me to connect with people, and it gives me a lot of energy. I don't know if it gives you a lot of energy, but connecting with people and actually having face-to-face conversations is super important. And I'm that kind of person that needs a lot of attention. I've realized that in my life. Maybe that's the reason why I do this show. And I think that's just important that we connect with people and keep going, right? Does anybody think that you're going to attend a convention next year? Doesn't matter what time, but you think you're going to attend some type of hospitality or business convention next year? Hit the comments and let me know. And guys, I'm still sorry. So we are, let's see, we are at number 6. We're still giving away my grand prize back to the most engaging person here. And it's probably going to take me a minute to pick somebody that's because there's so many comments here on the show, and I'm so thankful for you guys for being on this episode. Just a few days away from the holidays, guys. We are going on to number 7. Now, this is episode number 40 with Kate Bueller, and she says, simplify your life. And a lot of us have kind of understood that things have slowed down and dramatically slowed down. Like all the things that were important maybe last year at this time are probably not important this year compared to maybe all the things that you stressed about last year. I don't know if you remember last year at this time, maybe you're stressed about this one thing that doesn't even make sense anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. And that's what I mean by simplifying your life. Like not everything matters, and maybe focus on the things that really, really matter. And I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to become a better person at maybe listening, maybe paying more attention. And these are the things I'm talking about when we're talking about simplifying our lives. So I think definitely it's a great thing that I've learned that maybe I can help share with somebody else. And for me, as long as I maybe taught one person something, I think that's important for me. And the reason why I do the show is because I want to maybe inspire at least one person. And that's been my goal since day one. And that's going to be my goal moving on to 2021. And I think that's super important. Yeah, Sarah does say she does share some great advice. And I think that's number 7. All right, so number 8. And this is, and somebody tag David Araya right now in the comments. He's probably busy with ski season happening in Aspen, that he's probably not able to watch his show live right now, but somebody tag him in the comments on LinkedIn and let him know that he is number 8. And what he shared on episode number 23 was passion and purpose, right? And he shares amazing information every single day on LinkedIn. So somebody please connect with David Araya and somebody tag him so he knows that we are mentioning him. He's an amazing hotelier. He moved his entire family from Austin, Texas to Aspen, and now he is working at a hotel there. And I follow him on Instagram, and I follow him on LinkedIn here, and he just has an amazing story, and he keeps going, and I love that. Does anybody know David Araya? Have you followed him? Please follow him because he's an amazing person. But passion and purpose. Now, what does that mean? Like, what gets you excited in the morning? What do you feel great about that you feel fulfilled at the end of the day? Like, oh, you know what? I did this, and I feel so proud of myself because passion and purpose start with you, not somebody else, right? You can't be like, oh, I'm going to be passionate about helping this person out, but really inside you're not feeling fulfilled. And I think that's important when we're talking about keeping ourselves going, especially in the environment that we are in, right? I was talking to our friend last week, and I said, you know, the stock market is up. Looks like everybody's spending money, and looks like people are shopping like crazy, and we're in our bubble in the hospitality world where we're like, what's going on? Like everybody else thinks like it's like normal life, and I feel like we're the only people struggling. And sometimes it's been true the last 8 months or 9 months now, where you look around and you're like, what's going on? Has anybody felt that where you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel real, because I feel like everybody has their job and all my friends maybe might be doing their own thing, but I'm over here struggling. And that's when we're talking about what your passion and purpose is. And, you know, a lot of people have stuck to this industry, and some people have pivoted, which is okay. But they're passionate about hospitality. They have a purpose inside of hospitality, and they see that they can help others. They can see that they're helping themselves with this passion. And I think going back to clarity, I think that's part of you growing. And I've learned this from many of the leaders over 50 leaders that I've talked to. Everybody has always said, I'm passionate about this. This is what I love to do. And I think that's important. And then David shared that in an episode, on episode number 23. So please go back to that entire episode and watch it, because he has an amazing story. And he shares why he had that passion, or why he still has the passion for hospitality. And it's coming back. And I said that since March. It's coming back, and you see hotels are getting a little bit busier. Maybe it's the winter and things are slowed down, but it's going to pick up. And when you have a passion and purpose, you're like, you know what? I don't care about anything else. Yeah, I might be struggling for the next 6 months or whatever, but I'm going to make sure that I have some side hustles. Maybe I have this to keep me going, but I know what I'm passionate about. And that's what I've learned, and that's what I'm sharing with you. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it definitely makes sense to me. And there's so many people that have left the industry, like Jennifer says, but there are some people that are, they've shared these stories with me. They're like, you know what? I'm so passionate about hospitality. I loved being in the industry. However, I lost my job and I'm going to go find something else temporary. And when the industry comes back and when there's an opening, I am definitely going to go back into the position I was or something around that, which is okay too, right? And so that's why I bring up passion and purpose, because I think it's important when we're talking about keeping ourselves going, especially right now, where it is tough for all of us and it's tough for many people. And I'm super fortunate for everything that I have currently in my life and that I've got to experience and the connections and all those things. But I know there's people that are not in the state or have the same things I do. And that's when empathy comes into place. And that's when you have to understand that the world might be hard on one side or somebody might be doing well, but you have to feel how, you have to understand how they feel. That's at least the minimum by maybe asking a question. I think we talked about this last week with Mr. David Kong about empathy and how we continue helping others and understanding others. And maybe sometimes you don't have to understand exactly what they're going through, but maybe just asking questions and showing that you care is a big mindset too. And so that's why I picked that as far as me keeping it going. All right. So the next one, and this, I almost guarantee you every single person that's watching the show and is going to be watching this afterwards is going to say yes. And my next one is getting over self-doubt. Now, what does that mean? That means everybody struggles, right? We're all struggling with something. And if you look at everybody that's commenting right now, I guarantee you everybody is struggling with something. It's either business, relationships, it's something in your life that you're struggling with that maybe you think that nobody else in this world is struggling with. But guaranteed, 100%, there are other people just like you. And I've realized that talking to these great leaders that there are other people. Everybody's struggling with something, no matter what it is. It could be money, it could be relationships, it could be your business, it could be your job, it could be teamwork, it could be a lot of different things. And guess what? If you're saying that you don't have a struggle with anything, I guarantee you there's something that you are struggling with that you have not uncovered, right? And I think that's very important when you can understand that as far as clarity in your life. And that's one thing that I've learned is that, yeah, I'm struggling with something and it's weekly because as a business owner, it's up and down, or as a business professional, one day it's all good. And the next day you're like, oh my God, what am I doing here? What am I doing with my life? And sometimes you second or doubt yourself on what you're doing. I don't know if you've been through that. I do that often. And I try to catch myself when I get into those ruts because it sucks, right? It's really hard. And this is what I've learned from the leaders, the 50 leaders plus that I've talked to now in this last year is they have issues too. They have struggles too. They have that mindset of like, I'm not good enough, or they doubt themselves when they're going through something. But guess what? They catch themselves. And that's what I have done. And what I've learned is like, you know what? When I'm feeling down and out, catch yourself before you get down too deep into the ditch, because sometimes you can get there and it's hard to get out until somebody actually mentions it to you. And that's what I wrote that down, because I think it's important that you can catch yourself when you're doubting yourself and know that there are other people like you, right? And yes, Paula does say that she has good people around her to catch her, and I think that's important when you can, when your network is there to help you. And and I always thought in the past like, oh, I have to be best friends with everybody. No, you don't have to be best friends. You can have one good friend that you can share information to, but there's also other people out there that are willing to help you if you asked for that help, right? It's not like we're guessing that we're struggling, but we're asking for the help. And I think that's a mindset that we all can understand and learn from, because even though you might be down and out, if you're not sharing how you feel through emotions and communication, I think it's going to be hard for somebody to guess what's wrong with you, right? And I struggle with that often. So that's just one thing that I've learned, and I'm going to continue improving myself as far as getting over the self-doubt. All right, so now I have two more left, and we have a bunch of people on, and you guys have great comments, and you guys have been super active on this on the show this morning, and I'm so thankful for all of you guys for showing up every week, every Wednesday at 9:30 in the morning to keep me inspired. And I was talking to Sarah really quickly before the show, and I said, listen, Sarah, as most of you know, my dad died of COVID day before my birthday, actually, October 23rd. And it's been a struggle because he was in the hospital for 2 months prior to that. And even prior to that, my grandmother died. Even prior to that, the industry went down and all these other things that I could have focused on and said, you know what, I'm just going to get depressed and not do anything. But I kept myself going, and I had something to look forward to, which is this show. So all of you guys have kept me going too. And I want to thank you for that, because I think it's super important when we are talking about keeping it going and learning from other people like the people that I've had on the show, is that we need to keep it going, right? And stay positive. And so that's my next one, is staying positive and having a positive attitude. In the past, I would work hard, work long hours, but I would complain about those things to other people. And I didn't understand that I was always complaining, or it sounded like I was always complaining. And that was important for me to catch and understand from some of these leaders. And I think that's important when you have to understand what your communication is and how you're talking to others. And is it all negative, right? And I've had to catch myself too, because in the past I would be like, oh yeah, I'm so tired. I worked hard. Listen, we all work hard, and we all go through something. But if you can stay positive through some of these things and look for a bright future, because there always is going to be a better condition than what's happening right now in your life. So if you're in a bad state right now, guess what? In the future is going to get better. And I always look to that to stay positive. And so when my dad was going through it, I had to stay positive. That's all I could do. And, positivity is contagious, right? And so it's like going into work and you're mad. Guess what? It affects your team. It affects guests. It affects a lot of different things. It affects your vendors. But if you can go in with a great attitude, and a positive attitude, I think that's important. So, different things keep me positive. Music keeps me positive. It keeps me going. My network keeps me positive. When I get likes and people comment and say, this has helped me, keeps me positive. My team keeps me positive. GMs keep me positive. Staff keeps me positive. Guests, when they write reviews on social media, keep me positive, because I'm like, you know what? We're doing a great thing. And there's so many. The gym keeps me positive every single day, right? And so I love staying in this mindset. There are days, I definitely get in a thing where I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. But then I catch myself, and you know what? Hang on a second. And I just have to keep going. So that's all we can do, right? So that is number, I lost count. What number was that? What number was that? I think it was like 8 or 9. All right, so then the next one, let me cross this out so I can get this off my list. All right, so the next one, and it's not the final one because this is not a top 10, but it is definitely a way of understanding what these leaders have kind of taught me, and I've learned in the last year or so, is learn to say no. Now think about that. Learn to say no, right? It's important because a lot of stuff will come your way, but if you say yes to everything, guess what? You're going to leave some things behind, and you're going to not focus on things that maybe were important to you. And so just recently, I'm not going to lie to you, I've reached out to a lot of people to come on my show that I really respect, and I really want them to come on because I think they're a great asset to you guys, so they can teach you something and they can see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There's opportunity, there's growth that you can have within yourself. And there actually was a big CEO of a big company in hospitality that said no to me, that, hey, I can't come on right now because I'm busy. Now, I could have said, oh my God, I'm bad, or I start putting negative things on my side. I said, you know what? That person might be busy. They actually might not want to be on the show. That's fair too, right? Maybe they don't feel that the show's maybe valuable to them, which is okay too, because I might think this person's amazing, or you might think that you might get a lot out of them, but maybe that person might not get something out of it, which is also a mindset that I had to understand. Like, it's okay to say no. So that person said no to me. I say no to a lot of things all the time. Almost every single day, I say no to things that I feel like are not important or going to take me away from what my purpose is or what my passions are. Or maybe I say no to some things that, yes, it could be a great moneymaker, but it's not something that that drives me or keeps me going. One example, this past 6 months or 8 months, I've had people reach out to me saying, hey, I want to sponsor your show. I'm like, no, I don't want to just sell anything to my network of people. I don't want to just pitch them anything because that's not what I'm about. It's not about the money. It's about teaching you something, right? And so I said no to that. What are some other things that you've said no to this year that now you feel like, you know what, I'm so glad I got to say no because now it's giving me time to focus with my family, focus on this, focus on my career, focus on that, right? And I think that's important. And that's why I wrote it down, because I learned from these leaders, like, if you say yes to everything, guess what? Your schedule is going to be full and you're not going to be happy. You're going to be stressed out. And that's why I've continued to say no to a lot of things that maybe I feel like is not going to be important to myself, to maybe my family, or to my team, to the hotel, to a lot of different things, right? It's not just one way. I consider a few other things too. So I think that's important when we're talking about keeping ourselves going. Anybody feel that way? Anybody feel good about saying no? Because it's tough. It's tough. Like, you don't want to say no. And here's a tip. When we talked about the first lesson that I learned was words, right? Words about and by the way, Christine Trippy, yes is the answer. But sometimes you do have to say no. And it's not just a flat no, but how about we connect in the future? Or right now, I'm busy with, my schedule's full, but I would love to connect with you. Or it sounds like a great opportunity. Let's chat in the future. And I think when you use the proper words, you don't just shut somebody down because you still want to help them, or maybe you want to connect in the future. And that's when we talk about words. But when you can say no properly, in a respectful and in a proper way, I think it makes a big difference in the person that's getting the no. And by the way, that CEO, that person, their assistant actually said, they said it really elegantly, which I appreciated, right? And it wasn't just a flat no. And that's when we talk about words, and we're talking about keeping ourselves going. And I think that's the 10 that I wanted to bring up. So it's words, it's take opportunities, it's willingness to learn, it is motivate yourself and your associates, right? Remember, you have to motivate yourself first before you can motivate anybody else. It's a positive attitude, right? Let's see. It is a helping mindset. Like, are you here to help others, right? Or is it just about yourself, right? Because that title that you have, it's not about others. I mean, it's about others, not about yourself. You're holding this title because other people are looking towards you to lead them, right? It's not, I'm going to do this by myself, right? And that's been powerful too. When I'm talking to these leaders, it's not about them. And even Dan Cockrell said it wasn't about him when he worked at Disney. It was about his team. And that's what's important when we're talking about lessons and learning from leaders. All right, so the next one is positive attitude, helping mindset, simplify your life, passion and purpose, and get over self-doubt. And the last one is say no. Guys, this is the end of my 10 lessons that I've learned in 2020 from interviewing 50 plus leaders. And I just appreciate you guys being here to support me, my show. This has been something that I'm passionate about. I feel a lot of energy out of this. I get to meet amazing hospitality folks like yourself that keep it going. You guys are resilient. You've lasted this long through what's going on right now. And maybe you've had to pivot, and that's okay. Maybe you've had to change your career, and that's okay. Maybe you are working extra hard because you want to keep it going, and that's okay. Remember, it always gets better. And that's what someone always shared with me. They're like, you know what? It always gets better. It's kind of like you see somebody that just had a baby and they're not sleeping, right? And they're like, oh, I'm so tired. We'll wake up like zombies because my child is not sleeping. And guess what that person says? Guess what the person that's coming to visit them, guess what? It gets better. It always gets better, right? They're eventually going to sleep through the night. And that's why I kind of think about when we're talking about keeping ourselves going, and it gets better. And so I want to thank all of you guys, and I want to give a shout out to all the people, wonderful people that are helping me give away this grand prize. And I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. So hang on a second while I pull up my list. And all right, so yes, all right. So here's what we're giving away, and this is going to be so difficult for me to pick the right person because everybody has commented on this, and it's all like amazing. So give a shout out to Sarah Dandashy. Her book is coming out, Hospitality Within, in the next couple months. You'll see it. She's going to be probably mentioning it. She might even show us a sample of the cover here in the next couple of weeks on a Wednesday with her Hospitality Minute. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Charles Minton, thanks for coming in today. Amazing book. I wish I had a copy. I think I let one of my team members borrow it. So thank you so much. The person that wins is going to get all of these books. Dan Cockrell is How's the Culture in Your Kingdom? He was on episode number, I think it was like 2 episodes ago. You can go back to the website or back to my site and figure out what the episode was. Yes is the answer. Somebody tag Christine Trippy on this. She's amazing. She's been on the show a few times this year, and she's helped me understand that there is opportunity. Christine's out training hotels right now through the pandemic, and people are loving it. And so someone's going to win this, or this person's going to win this book. All right, so Shep Hyken is definitely in. If you don't know Shep, go to shep.tv. He has an amazing mindset, and every week he talks about customer service and how you can improve yourself and your entire team. Jeremy Wells, Future Hospitality, is a great book. Definitely catch him. He was on episode number 47. And then Mark Metry, he is a podcaster, is a leader. He's a great thinker. We're talking about bringing amazing people on and bringing them to share ideas. Mark Metry, somebody tag Mark on this episode because I think he would appreciate it. His podcast, Humans 2.0, is probably in the top, I would say, less than 100 podcasts in the world, and he continues inspiring a lot of people. And he's here on LinkedIn, so definitely connect with him. And I feel like there's some other things I need to mention, but I think that is it. Guys, if you've enjoyed this episode, please comment and let me know that you did enjoy this episode. You learned the 10 things, these lessons that have continued helping us grow, helping all of us grow. And yes, Peggy, I will make a list of all these books because I think these are all great Christmas holiday gifts that you can, if you don't have a gift for a team member or a friend in the hospitality space or in business space, you can definitely give them any of these books, and it would be a great addition to their library or their way of thinking, because it's helped me improve my life this last year as I struggled through a lot of different things like you have, and it's kept me going. So I really appreciate that. Now, finally, before I pick the big winner, which is going to be so difficult because I'm going to have to read over here to figure out who I'm actually going to pick, please let me know what city you're watching from and what your hotel name is or your favorite hotel. I think that's important when we can keep thinking about hospitality and keep thinking about this industry that needs so much support and resiliency and keeping it going. So thank you so much. And I'm going to now pull up these comments on where people are watching from right now. So please comment, let me know where you're watching from, and if you've enjoyed this episode. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to try to pick somebody from the audience or from the watchers. And let me see if I can do that. I'm sorry, guys. It's going to take me a long time to figure this out, but I hope that you guys enjoy this episode, and please hit the comments and hit the like button. And by the way, guys, you can re-watch any of my past episodes from my website, rupesh.co/show, or on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Rupesh Live, and all past 69 episodes will be there waiting for you. Guys, this episode is sponsored by my leadership platform, my website, rupesh.co. So please go there. And if you go down to the bottom of the page, you'll see, and actually, you know what? Let me just pull it up for you so you guys can see what it's all about. While I try to pick a winner, hang on a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, so here is my, hold on. Here's my new website, and let's see. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, I'm giving away the general managers, hotel general managers checklist, top trends, and that was 2020. I'm going to have it updated here in the next couple of weeks for 2021 marketing trends, and then 50 must-have tools. You can get those right now if you click on them and get the free guide. And so that's part of my website, and please connect with me there. All right, so that is that. And all right, so now I have to pick a big winner, and it's gonna be so hard, but I think the person that has been super engaging, has been super helpful on this episode, and please everybody thank this person for their wonderful comments. All of you guys are winners. And by the way, we do this every week, every Wednesday. We give away some good prizes and share some amazing insights from hospitality leaders. Next week is going to be something different. I'm going to be teaching you, I think I'm going to be teaching you a recipe, right? Make it short and sweet. And it's going to be right before New Year's Eve. And so it'll be exciting to share this with you. But all right, so the winner of this week's episode, which is the $50 Amazon gift card, the $100 smartguests.com gift card, 60-minute leadership coaching with me, books on hospitality, and the winner is, anybody want to hit a drum roll? The winner is Matthew Vaughn. Congratulations, Matthew. You just won my big holiday grand prize pack. Thank you so much for all your wonderful comments. I tried to do the show on my own as a solo episode, but I also did read the comments, and you did a great job. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, I will list, and somebody please list the books that if you want them right now to include as a gift for a friend. Please include those in the comments right now. Congratulations, Matthew, you won it. Please connect with me, and we will talk to you next week, guys. Please take care of yourself. Happy holidays to all of you. Wish you a safe and happy holiday, and we'll talk to you next week. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of each other, and I'll see you next week. By the way, please go back to the past episodes on my website or YouTube channel. There it is.